See, we people have this confusion in our mind because we hear statements to the effect that God is the doer of everything, like this verse here. Bina Bhagavan ki इच्छा के एक पत्ता भी नहीं हिलता. Without the will of God, even a leaf will not move. So people say, really? So everything's happening by the will of God? That means I'm not at fault. If I made a mistake, it is the fault of God. You see, if God is the doer, we should not suffer the karmic reactions. He is making us do. Why should the karma fall upon us? So if God is the doer, then nobody can ever be punished. So on one side, the scriptures are telling us God is the doer and it doesn't make sense to us. And if that is not the case, then we are the doer. There's an apparent contradiction that needs to be reconciled. Are we the doers or is God the doer?
Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 5. Verse chanting is followed by translation and commentary by Swami Mukundananda.
Naiva kinchit karomi te yukto manyeta tattvavit pashyan shrinvan sprishan jighran ashnan gachan swapan shwasan pralapan visrujan krihnan unmishan nimishannapi indriyanindriyartheshu vartanta iti dharayan.
Those steadfast in Karma Yoga always think, I am not the doer, even while engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, moving, sleeping, breathing, speaking, excreting, grasping, and opening or closing the eyes. With the light of divine knowledge, they see that it is only the material senses that are moving amongst their objects.
Whenever we do anything, this feeling comes. I am the doer. I did this. I did that. This is the kartitvabhiman. Once, there were two lice on the ear of an elephant. And that elephant, they were crossing a wooden bridge up in the mountains. So this one elephant broke loose from the herd and it really stomped over the bridge. So the bridge, that wooden bridge, shook under the weight of the elephant. And when they reached the other side, one lice said to the other, my, we shook that bridge really hard today. So that is the kartatvabhiman. Now we are laughing, but the fact is that our kartatvabhiman is of the same kind. We are the soul. And this rest is all material energy of God. So we take the credit for what the body and the mind, etc. do. Now, if you go to the bank and present a check, and the cashier gives you the money according to that check, the cashier says, thank me for what I have given you. So why should I thank you? It is my money. You are only an intermediary. So likewise, Sri Krishna says, there's the material energy that is doing. But because of the ego within, we get this feeling that I am the doer. I have heard of these two boys who started boasting about their father. Like I say, that there are 3 stages in life. The first stage is my dad can beat your dad. And the second stage is the adolescence. Oh, Dad, you don't know anything. And the third stage is, my father used to say. That's when the realization. So these two were little children. One said to the other, have you heard of the Suez Canal? He said, yes. He said, my father built it. The second said, that's no big deal. Have you heard of the Dead Sea? He said, yeah, my father killed it. So, whatever we do, that pride doesn't leave us. One guy became skilled in the plumbing trade. So as a plumber, he is trained to fix leaks. And then he happened to go to the Niagara and he saw that waterfall. He said, I think I can fix it. The reason for this kartritva-abhiman is the confusion where we have forgotten that we are souls. And the ego is making us think, I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect. And hence, whatever the body, mind, intellect do, the ego makes us think, I am doing it. But actually, the energy is coming from Bhagavan. Just like now, all this is actually matter. It's receiving its energy from the soul. Now, matter is like you have the chimta, the tongs in the kitchen. Those tongs are used to lift things. Those tongs, supposing they say, we have been doing such wonders in the kitchen, so thank us for what we are doing. The hand will say that, why should I thank you? What are you doing? If I don't hold you, you will just remain lying on the tabletop. You can't do anything yourself. I am energizing you. So now the hand gets the ahankar, I am the doer, this tong fong is nothing. The mind comes, and the mind says, Mr. Hand, if I don't energize you, you will be like the hand in sleep. What can you do? It is me who inspires you to work. So the mind now has got the ego, I am the doer. The intellect comes, Mani Ram. Without my intervention, you will not even know which is the front end of the tongs and which is the back end. You will start lifting it from that back end. How it's going to work? So the intellect says, I am the doer. But that intellect is also made of the insentient material energy. It receives its inspiration from the soul. And inside the soul is the Supreme Soul. Sarva bhutatma bhutatma, Sri Krishna said in the last verse. From there all energy begins. Nityo nityanam chetanas chetananam. This one mantra that has come in 3 major Upanishads. Shvetashvatar Upanishad, Mundak Upanishad, Katha Upanishad. So, Bhagavan says that your soul is eternal. Not because of itself, but because Bhagavan is sitting inside and making it eternal. And the soul has got life because Sri Krishna is inside giving it life. If Sri Krishna went out of our soul for a moment, our personality would cease to be. Hence, all power is coming from him. So, one with a purified intellect sees like that I'm not doing anything, it is all him who is doing. But then every knowledge can be used to our advantage for rationalizing as well. So, we can say, if Bhagavan is doing everything, then why do I need to do Rup Dhyan? He will do it for me. We all, in the spiritual side, we attribute it. If he wishes, it will happen. The fact is, right now, we are not free of the ego. When it comes to matters of wealth, of prestige, we put in all our energy. We don't say, if it's his wish, it will happen. But when it comes to spiritual side, you tell somebody, come for the retreat. Swamiji, if God wishes, I will come. That means that I don't have to do anything. So, this is a subtle point of philosophy. When we are totally purified of intellect, we will easily see he is doing. We'll be like a little child in the mother's lap. Whatever he wishes, he will do from us. But as of now, we are not of purified intellect. Right now, if we sit down, if God wants, it will happen. It's not going to work. Hence, Maharishi Vasishth had told Sri Ram, kartā bahir, kartā antara, vihara rāghava. Ram, externally, put in all your energies and act. And internally, cultivate the consciousness. He is the doer. So both these practices have to be done side by side. And finally, when you get there, then, like Tulsidas says, na main kiya na kari sakan sahib kartā mor, karata karavat aap hai tulsi tulsi shor. It was all he who got it done. The Ram wrote the Ramayana through me. I was only an instrument. That the God-realized saints can say. So we have to keep both these in mind, but he's telling us that there is such an elevated state. And to reach that elevated state, we need to keep working on this ego. So every time the ego says, I am something, I have to put the ego aside. No. Don't allow the ego to suggest thoughts to you. Pride cometh before the fall. If we permit the pride to come, then we will have a fall. So every time the ego suggests, I did something so great, immediately counter it. If God had not graced, how would I have done it? If the ego says, I am special, better than the others in this, then again, cut it with a humble thought that who am I to judge others? They are better than me in so many qualities. If God had not graced, where would this quality have come from? In this way, using the power of thoughts, keep on striking at the ego to move ahead on this journey of spiritual realization.